Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
Now let's say that we have a two data extension. One data extension has the information about a customer. The data extension has the information about the coupons the customer has. If the customer has a coupon and is valid, or is it being blamed or not blamed? And we have all of this information, two data extension, and we would like to compare it. Then I'll get a data extension using SSJs. We do the SQL, we write the SQL, but SQL does not update the existing data extension. But using SJs, we can update the existing data extension easily. We also use this SSJs mainly for updating the customer data extension directly. Now let me show you the example which I have brought. Now I have an example which I have created. This is a script that I haven't prepared. Here, what I'm basically doing is I'm going to run this piece of script in my automation studio. This will keep on updating the records in the data extension that we pick up. Now let's copy this script and put it in the automation studio first, and then we create also a data extension. Let's see how it is really implemented for this SSJ script. I have access to the script activity. I think it was removed some time ago. Now I have them back. SSJs. Here, let's put that script. Let's create a new script. Now I have put the script here. If I validate, it will not throw any errors. Now, what's something that I have written in the notepad? We usually run this script at the server. That's the reason we always start the SSJ script. But we're starting with the script, and then we have to end with the script again. If we look at this, SJs always SJs is to be run on the server side, and JavaScript runs on the client side too. If I give you a best example, we write the JavaScript for multiple websites and multiple applications and many other use cases. This JavaScript will be loaded one day if the customer tries to get access to that particular application. Example, if I give you best example, I just go to some website randomly, and when I go, it is asking for, if you ask for a small pop-up window will come, they will ask you to give a consent, and all of them. Then, if I give a consent, that's when it will be taking us. Basically, it captures all the cookies, allow all cookies, or disable all cookies, or save my collection. We usually get that pop-up window. That's usually being created from a JavaScript. This is happening. This consent button is coming when we load the landing page. This is loading at the customer client side. Only if any of the customer trying to access that particular website, that pop-up window will run because they go to that website. The JavaScript will run and then it will just throw a pop-up window. Now, this is a client side that we are doing it. If SSJS is on the server side in the Marketing Cloud server, we are going to run all of the script and then the result is going to be stored in the Marketing Cloud server again. That's what we are doing it here. That's the reason we are seeing like running that server and language is equal to JavaScript. Perfect. Here we have to use a core library whenever we are doing an update function. If I'm using only lookup rows and all of them, I don't need to use this core libraries. That is something that we will define usually, like whenever we write the SJS, only based on the libraries that we're using in the script. Now, if I look at the script, I'm using an update function and also a lookup function from a data extension. That's the reason I have declared the platform load as a core library. If I don't update this single line, it's not required. And then we declare the variable same as what we have done it in the MMP script. Variable event D. Here this is a data extension. I'm setting the values from this data extension to this variable. Simple. It's the same way, but